You're not doing your normal stretching and jaw moving side to side and all of that today.
There's only one thing I do every show
And
that's consistent.
yeah. Oh, that's consistent. I
That's
like the fact that
consistent.
you put it that way.
Mhm.
That's probably right there. You're probably right. Mhm. You say only one thing I do that's consistent.
And now, it's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4. Here we go. Roger.
And with the coach, Mickey Clayton on Insights. Two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
Insights presents the Mick and Rick. No trick. We talking about Rick. What's up, Rick?
Coach, what is going on this beautiful Wednesday before we get hit by a cold spell here?
Man, we got tornado warnings up here in the Panhandle.
It's coming this way. We
Yeah.
getting it tomorrow.
Yeah, we're getting it tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little different kind of weather going on. Man, what you know good?
Man, this is just crazy, man. I love this time of year, man. My favorite hockey team, the Washington Capitals. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin, 800 goals with a hat trick last night. Good job. One of 3 players in NHL history with 800 goals. That Russia, I tell you, he makes me like Russia.
He makes you like Russia.
That's all. Oh, and good luck. Good luck to Lakeland High School. They're in the state finals, and one of their assistant coaches, Ahmad Black, uh, maybe talking to us soon about their adventures. So
Okay. You got somebody you're working on, huh?
yeah. He owes me a few.
Well, that's good. Sometimes you got to call that in. You know, man, we still getting a lot of feedback on our special show that we did from Insights Magazine. I got, man, all I could do is read some of it to you. I had one of our loyal listeners. He said, I had to pause a few times. I got emotional. Yeah, first show that y'all got me like that. He said, normally I eat my pork rinds and hot sauce and laugh my behind off. But this was different.
Yeah. And I agree. As I said, I'm usually not very quiet, but that was serious, and I understand because I had to hold back some tears too, just thinking about everything not just was said, but what is happening. What is happening? It was a good show. It was an important show to run, and I can't wait for the next venture.
Yeah, another comment came from Sheriff Walt McNeil. He said, great program and great job, Coach. Your panel is probably one of the best I've seen that was situation focused. Thank you. So I told him I was going to tell everybody, what he said, and he said he appreciated that. Then I had one of my players. She says, hey, Coach, I meant to tell you that was a wonderful segment. My second son was shot on 2 different occasions, and by the grace of God and favor of God is here today.
Amen.
Like one of the platform guests said, we used to could fight and go about our business with bragging rights, but now it's a whole different party. I guess you have to be disciplined and make the best choices as a person who has a gun. She says, I'm a licensed gun owner, but I pray I don't ever have to think that's my first choice to settle an indifference. Great show. She said your picture was on point, Mr. Sporty. Oh, they, when they get a chance to get you, they get you.
Indeed, indeed,
Then I
indeed.
had another one that I was trying to find some research to find some ways that we could try to reach some possible solutions. But one person shared a long history with me and said bringing people together on the issue of gun violence is commendable. And said, I know a lot of the people that were on your panel. And said that they used to have a juvenile justice role model development program at FAMU for over 10 years. And they used to get a lot of community involved. And they said they had students that served in almost every elementary, middle, and high school in town, in Hollifield and Leon Arms Apartments. And said, but some people didn't really think that they were doing, they didn't believe in what they were doing. He says so much on here. They also wrote a proposal for a juvenile justice education and training center. I say, how are they saying it? Some people are either too busy or are already doing enough to help their communities. Just to name a few, the Urban League is in the heart of Frenchtown, Front Porch Initiative, the Inner City Program, Southside Initiative. They say the so-called leaders meet occasionally, but they never really meet enough to join forces. And we kind of talked about that. We would like to see not have so many splinter groups, but try to do something where people would kind of come together, for the greater good. But people get in all these separate silos. And then somebody else said by the time situations turn into gun violence, it's already too late. Too many Black American men are denied opportunities to earn a living and lead productive lives. They say, while academics is not for everyone, some types of skills are are needed. And I agree with that. Thank you. They go on about there's instability in the community. There are more churches and small businesses in these communities. Repair shops and other skilled and semi-skilled plumbing, electrical, air conditioning are all gone. Those were jobs that a lot of Black men were trained to do. Gun violence is the result of several insecurities due to the loss of self-worth and sense of purpose, all of which contribute to indifferent aggression and hate. Self-worth and purpose are difficult to correct. I mean, we've had some pretty deep comments made about the show and what people saw and what they heard. And we are going to try to move a little bit forward with it to see what we can do to try to help stem some of this. So I think that our show last week, for all intents and purposes, did what I wanted it to do, which was at least open the dialogue. And from there, we'll see what actually happens from there. That was just an important piece. Your thoughts, Rick?
I think you've said it all. It's important that we take that first step. And now that we've taken this first step, it's vital not to waste that step, that momentum, because oftentimes people have good intentions and they start projects or whatever, and life happens, and then the movement ends or splinters off or whatever. This is too important because this is about not only the future. We have to keep it going. And community, I mean, we need your help too. So stay tuned.
Well, actually, the community is for us is significant in trying to resolve the issues and the problems because it's in our communities, and we can't wait on other people to resolve the issues that we have. Okay. Now, also this past week, it's been a busy basketball week. Insights has done more basketball games in the early part of this season than we've done in the last 3 years put together. Thank you, Maclay High School. Those Marauders, they got me hooked.
You like that squad, huh?
Oh man, and you've seen it. I mean, you were watching one game when they played Florida High, and you had to go to work, and you were like, "Oh no, a 2-point game. I got to go back and watch the rest of that." So right now they're rolling at 7-0. Last week they had a week for the ages. They had 3 contests. They had 2 games. They won by a total of 6 points. They had 2 games that ended up being classics. And we have with us today the head of that program, Coach Eugene Granger, back on Insights again. And I don't know if we bringing him good luck or what, but somebody already said if you keep bringing them, if they keep coming, they keep winning, you need to keep having them on there every 2 weeks here. Coach Granger, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
Man, Coach, how did you feel after last week? I mean, you needed a break, and I know Maclay probably is taking a break for finals and things like that. But man, you had a hectic week. The buzzer beater against Florida High. Then you had one of the better programs in the state of Florida against Rickards in Rickards Gym. Then you had another game against Lincoln, who came in undefeated and jumped out on you early. Coach,
right.
Kind of tell us what you've learned about your team in the past week.
Well, we got a lot of guys opportunity to play. So we had maybe 3 or 4 injuries last week that allowed, other guys to see their contributions. And, I think that was positive from late in last week. We had one of our primary players get hurt on a jump ball. The tip off. And so we played our last 2 games without his production, and it just allowed other guys to get an opportunity to play and see what they, are capable of doing.
Well, I have to say, your point guard, Colin McAllister, has shown a lot of maturity. He was key in your game against Lincoln because he was on no-dos the first half, and I assume he got a few words from the coaching staff at halftime because he came out a different player because that was one of the games Sawyer was hurt and needed somebody else to help Blaze. And Colin
the second quarter was good for Colin going into halftime, and again, it just gave another player an opportunity to show, at some point in the season, you never know who that person might be that will be, kind of that hidden jewel that we may need. Everyone's going to focus on a few players that we have, but we have others that are capable of doing some damage too if you leave them alone.
Well, you needed them. I was kind of surprised because then Lincoln had played so well against you. We did a game against them in Florida High, and the jump shooter that shot the lights out against you, boy, he went like 0 for 9, 0 for 10. And by the time he had a shot, they were down 25. As Florida High put them to sleep.
Yeah, I think as the season goes on, people start to learn who is who and what to take away, and and it's starting to get in that time of the year. People have videos now, and they can see what the weaknesses might be, and from night to night, teams have different players almost. It's like some teams are football is ending and some guys are coming back, some guys are moving up or down, so, it's all about adjusting and being able to adjust and, and still in preparation for the end of the year, being able to play back-to-back tough games in the same week, or in back-to-back weeks, and going into hostile environments, competitive environments, just being, conditioned for that.
Well, Coach, they seem conditioned and mentally strong. I mean, I was concerned a couple games, and when it came crunch time, I told Blaze a couple days after the Florida High game, I said, I understand the position you were in. He said, what's that? I said, you did so much. The ball was in your hands. And when I was in that spot, I was like, man, we're going to lose this. We're going to lose it on my shot. Somebody else will take this shot and miss it. I'll be upset. It's going to be on me. And he missed it bad. And he got rebounded. And I'm looking at the clock. 0.2 seconds. He tipped it back in, caught it, put it back in. Over. It was done. Coach, they were pretty excited.
Seniors,
On the floor.
What you say, the seniors, Coach?
Yeah, we have, that them being able to hold on, I would say, and to the will to overcome, whether it be a team that's chopping away a lead or a team that is pressuring or down like Lincoln. We got those 10 seniors and, even the young guys have a lot of experience playing. And, the whole time it's like, it's a close game. It's, all the way to the end, it's a close game where there's 5 points away. I mean, we're down by 7 with like 5 minutes ago. And then at 4.5, we're only down 1. So it's like, we try not to be panic as coaches, and so the players, I think they understand these are things we can get ourselves out of if we don't dig ourselves too deep of a hole.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rick, did you see him smile? You don't see him do that often. Him and Charlie Ward from the same school of nonchalant smoothness. You don't see him, but I've seen him twice last week run on the floor pretty excited. I was like, that's the camera shot that we needed. Those were blackmail shots right there.
No, says I've never seen that. So, oh my goodness, really? Oh, okay.
And you have to maintain an even keel because you still have a long season. It's early. You're off to a good start, but you could have you could crash and burn as quickly as you went up. I mean, so you always have to keep that team on even keel.
Yep.
And injuries, I mean, he lost a kid who jumped on the jump. I'm trying to see where the ball went, and he's crumbled on the floor. I'm like, what in the world? I said, I don't think I've seen that before, Coach.
Yeah, it's always the unexpected, and it's like one thing might work for a little while, and then we might not need to have him jumping the jump ball no more. But it's like we're just glad it wasn't serious, and he'll be back, in a few days.
Now, Coach Granger knows that things change because it's the coach who's going through drills last year, and one of his players took him out and tore his knee up. He's still a little gimpy on it. So, we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, do we, Coach? Man, he froze again. See, that was you in the car that time when you were doing your broadcast from the car because Coach keeps freezing on us.
I know. Those are tough. But those early season games, and you hit it spot on, Coach, that you really can't get too high. You learn. It's good that you play the close, tight-knit games, especially on the road, because you see how your team, and they get the confidence that, hey, it really isn't over. If we keep doing what we do, but it is a long season. If you come out and start reading your own press clippings or or believing everything that everyone's telling you, patting you on the back, and not taking care of the little things, it can come bite you when it counts. So it looks like Gene and his coaching staff has a good little nice feel on the pulse of that team right now. So
Well,
it'll
when
be
you got
interesting
10
to follow.
seniors, if you don't get that feel on them, then you're not gonna ever get it. And they play like that. It's like everybody has their own role, and they know what their role is, and that's the part that I'm very impressed with them. I mean, he has a couple 10th graders, 6'3", 6'4" perimeter shooters that are going to be really nice. And but it's a senior-led team, and a couple of his seniors have improved a lot. Colin McAllister, Sawyer Stone, they've all improved a lot, and they've been able to step in and do some things and take some of the burden off Blaze, who signed to go to Albany State last week. Coach, you're back. Let's see if we got him. You with us, Coach, or you frozen
Yes.
still?
I'm kind of.
Coach, you got a real bad internet connection in the car. We appreciate you being with us. We really do, but we can't really understand you too much.
And we had to run it back, Coach. I mean, I'm sure we'll get him again real soon, because you mentioned one of his players, McAllister, and I think I hit you on the game, the Florida High game. I said, I like that kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm partial to guards. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm partial to, and I just like the way he played. And so when you said that you saw in that first half, he was like on no-dos, I was like, is that the same kid that I saw, who was just all over the place and not out of control, just in control and handling and making the right play and on defense and pressing, and loved it. He seemed like a vet.
Coach must be trying to drive to a better interconnection. Internet spot.
I'm trying to move, Coach, for you.
Oh man, I hear you though.
Yeah,
I hear you a lot better now, and it looks like your lips and the words are kind of moving at the same time now.
Yeah, now like one of those Chinese movie, the dubs, or the old Bruce Lee movies.
Yeah,
I will take you.
Yeah, our next game with Maclay, we're gonna get them in Capital City Classic on Wednesday. They play Gaps early in the morning, so we're gonna have that one up and stream that for everybody to see, Coach.
Coach, I appreciate everything that you've done. Helping us.
Coach, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you trying to come in. We got, you being split duty, but being a dad is important, and your kids, it's important coaching them. They see you coaching everybody else, but they want to make sure you got time to coach them. So, Coach, we'll see you next week, and we appreciate you being with us. As always, Coach, good luck to you.
Good luck, Coach. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Would you say they're from what you've seen so far early on, that they set the pace, that they're the team to watch out for early?
That you still got to get by defending state Florida State, defending state champions Florida State. They beat them by 2. Florida State is still a team you're gonna have to go through. And it was early, so we will see. But Maclay won the first one, and in our area rankings, they're number 1 right now.
Yeah, and success in sports aren't always about the championships won or rushing or passing for a ton of yards. Some successes are about making sure the doors remain open for others to follow. Today, we shine the spotlight on a man who had many firsts, but who was also the person who was called to build or restore programs the right way. On today's Remembering the Legends, we pay honor to former Bethune-Cookman Wildcat, high school football and basketball coach, as well as school administrator, Vic Smith. Willie Victor Smith was born July 23, 1954 in Lakeland, Florida. Growing up at the end of segregation era, Smith played basketball and football at Lakeland High and is credited as being the first black quarterback to start for the Dreadnoughts when he filled in for the final 2 games at the end of his sophomore season. While linebacker was his favorite position, Smith would get a scholarship as a quarterback at Bethune-Cookman. He started preseason as the 9th quarterback on the roster, but moved up to 3rd and was on the travel squad his freshman year. His job then was to relay the plays to the starter. That was when he thought he could become a coach. After college, he returned to Polk County, where he was an assistant football coach at Bartow before helping start the sports program at Lake Gibson, coaching the JV boys basketball and football teams. He moved to Mulberry as an assistant, and 3 years later, in 1985, became the first black head coach at Polk County after integration. He was rewarded with a cross burning in his yard. Did that stop him? It made his resolve deeper. He left Mulberry in 1987 and had stops at Auburndale and Haines City before returning to Lake Gibson to take over the Braves' struggling program. At every stop, he had the task of building or rebuilding a program from the ground up. And more times than not, when he left for a new adventure, left the program better, creating a culture of discipline and commitment and doing things the right way. He stopped coaching in 2000, but couldn't stay away completely, helping establish the Lakeland Hurricanes youth football program and the Lakeland Liberty Girls basketball AAU program. Smith returned to coaching in 2008 as new school Lakeland Tenor Rock was opened, and Principal Ernest Jost sought out an old friend to help establish the girls basketball program and the JV football team in the right way. Even in retirement, he is still called coach everywhere he goes, having impacted thousands of lives either as a coach or dean of students. That, as well as his ability to build and restore programs despite the obstacles, is what makes him a legend. Coach Smith.
I like that, Coach. I like that.
Coach, he was something else. I mean, they had me do a memorial to at a Bethune-Cookman Polk County Wildcat function. And when I went there, I sat beside Coach Smith and I said, Coach, you guys got the right person to do this? I mean, yeah, Coach Speed was a Kappa, but come on, man. You know, this territory over here. He looked at me, he said, you play sports, right? I was like, yes, sir. He said, and a little competition you're afraid of? He just gave me a 30-second pep talk that got me just pumped. I was like, let me go and kill these wild. I said, thank you, Wildcat. And I went up there and slayed it, Coach. I slayed it. But like I said, even today, he's well respected. And the programs that he took over and then left, the next years, he got them playoff ready. And one team, I think it was Haines City, the year or the second year after they left, they won the state title. So he's had his hand in. And the thing that got me, when he got hired, they burned a cross in his yard. I mean,
I heard you say that.
Who does? I mean, yeah, this was like in '85.
Yo, what? Okay.
it wasn't like in the back in the day. So, but that's Imperial Polk County for you. But hey, that's my love though. It made me who I am. But yeah, Coach Smith is a good guy. Three daughters, all played basketball. Sons played football and basketball. He has 8 children. At least I know 5 of them played collegiate sports. One twin was the JUCO Player of the Year, and then got a shot in the WNBA. Good athletic family, good people, all of them.
Okay. Well. We appreciate that. That was a good piece that you did. And moving on to the next sequence, we're able to get some words from some of the interviews that we've had with John Grant, the executive director of the Celebration Bowl.
Placed in the hierarchy of education for HBCU institutions for educating its black students when at one time it was illegal to do so. If you've never been to or visited a black college, you've missed out. Nothing is the same on an HBCU campus, just like in black culture. And in the South, football is the king. The supporters, fans, alumni, family, and boosters come together in a special environment, oftentimes party and activities starting on Friday, and many times on Thursday night, and sometimes even on Wednesday. Foods are being marinated, cooked, and prepared.
Rick, I have been to the game a couple of times. Man, it's something. I mean, John, I'm really kind of disappointed because he was low key on us. He gave, the salesman in John usually goes a little bit more animated than that.
I'm saving stuff, Coach. I'm saving some things.
Oh man,
we're at the start right now, so I'm giving you the start. We're not to the finish. When you come around the back turn.
For people who don't know, it's a game. Both games actually you can go to and never be a representative of either of the institutions that are playing and have a great time. I mean, we have a story. We went out and we were taping people. They were tailgating, and see, black college tailgaters are different from those who may not know. It's different from any other tailgate. Black people cooking out there on that grill, boy. They doing some stuff. And then those North Carolina people, you thought the Florida people talk junk. Oh, those North Carolina people. They still in their car talking stuff. And the bad part about it, they could use to back it up. Rivalry. Do I sound like I'm excited? I am, because it's just, man, it's something to go to. I mean, I can't tell you enough about the positive experiences that INSiiGHTS has had going to the games, and just sitting there just shaking my head at all of it. I mean, and I'm from fam, so we used to classic games and things. So, it take a little bit to impress a rapper. It take a little bit to impress us. But when you go to one of these, yeah, it's a little special.
Well, what we're designing, Coach, is these are all about experiences. So our goal with the Cricket MEAC SWAC kickoff game is taking a little bit from each conference. We know that, for instance, the SWAC is a tailgating institution. A tailgating conference. That's what they do. So the MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff, Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge Kickoff is the ultimate tailgate experience. When you come to the Celebration Bowl, we know that the MEAC, they're homecoming. So what is the Celebration Bowl? The ultimate homecoming experience. So what we're looking to do is bring our the alumni of all these institutions together. It's not only about who's playing on the field. That is important because you're about a football game. But guys, what we are in the business of ultimately is creating content. These games are just content. The experiences around them are content. And when I talk about content, I'm not talking about just content for television. But, just what we're doing right now is we're consuming content. We're creating it, and it's being consumed. When you go to a live event, it's entertainment, but it's really content. You're just consuming it in person. versus watching it on a digital or linear platform. And so by taking the perspective of we are in the business of creating content and determining how our fans are consuming that content, live, streamed, through social, and through linear, then our focus is creating world-class experiences, period, that people can consume in the method in which they are, in where they are to consume it. So let me add one other thing. So this year we've added, Coca-Cola has signed on. Can you raise that little Coke?
Can you say it again? Can you say it again, Coach?
There we go.
Coca-Cola, this is their hometown, has signed a multi-year deal with us. And they are the sponsor of our Coca-Cola fan experience. That's going to be the ultimate tailgate. And we're building out around that. It's going to be something like you've never seen, Mickey. And I know you've been, and Rick, you've been to a lot of HBCU games. But what you're going to see that we're building around the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff, you will not have seen anything like this. Or fans who come will not have experienced anything like what we're building here. This is different. Just like the games that we put on are different. The experiences that you have, you just talked about, Coach, it's different. We're not trying to replicate what's already out there. We're trying to take the best of everything and create a different experience. Something when fans come, they say, wow, I didn't know it was like this. You just heard him say that, right, Rick?
Yeah.
It takes a lot to impress a Rattler, but that Rattler was impressed. And what you said is true. And that's what our team is constantly focused on, creating world-class experiences through the content that we create and that they are able to consume. We want to give people things that they say, wow, I've never been to that, or I've never experienced that. And that's what we want them to know, that every time they come to the game, there's going to be there's something a little different this year than there was last year. So if you came last year, that's great. You don't want to miss this year because it'll be something a little different.
HBCUs and taking a little and making a lot. That's typically what we have done with our students and all of that. I'm going to hold on to that. You should have put a copyright on it because I'm going to use it again.
No, put it away, Coach. We want you to spread that love.
And then you said, which I really love, you said it's the HBCU football's largest stage.
It is.
And when you said that, I had never thought about it that way.
There's nothing close. Let me clarify what I mean by that. See, we are accustomed to measuring largesse by how many people are in the stands or how many people are in attendance. The models moved away from that a long time ago. And the larger, predominantly white institutions in the Power Five and all of those, they recognized that when they really started to migrate to understanding the power of television. Because when television first came on the scene, a lot of conferences didn't want to deal with television because they thought, wow, it would impact our gates.
Sure did.
But they didn't realize look, the money at institutions is in the students. It's not the money. Let me repeat that. The money at institutions is in the students. So if you want to grow your institution, grow your student body attendance. You want to grow your athletic programs, grow your student body attendance. Now, how do you do that? Exposure. North Carolina A&T became the largest HBCU in the country after participating in the Celebration Bowl. In 2015, they were averaging about 7,000 to 8,000 applications per year. This past year, over 40,000. You see, so when you take when I use the Celebration Bowl and say, we have nearly over 3 million viewers Tell me anything that's close to that. Tell me any other game where you have nearly 3 million people, HBCU game, consuming that content. So when you add, people in attendance, what we call total live audience, the people that are there, the people that are streaming it, the people who are consuming it on linear television, those that are consuming it on radio, when you add those numbers together, that is called total live audience. There is no game out there even close. And I've already done the analysis. So I know the numbers of each and every one of them. Not even close to what the Celebration Bowl, Cricket Celebration Bowl, or the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge. Not even close to total live audience. Hence, when you do that, guess what happens? Now, other things occur. College Game Day shows up when you're in the right position. First Take gives you added. So now that total live audience that I just gave you,
Preach, John,
grows exponentially. This is what's supposed to happen in the A, but it's also supposed to happen because our institutions and our people and our fans who are avid fans are supporters of our programs. Support also the great thing about our institutions that we support each other. Mm-hmm. And that's what makes these things so unique. And I'm not saying that because I'm telling you that when I go to the Bowl Association meetings, that's the conversation I have with all of them, including the national championship game, who tells me, John, you have something that we don't have. And that part is true. And you know what that is? The spirit of our institutions, built on the spirits of our ancestors. And that's why we're able to do what we do, because of the help of all of them.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at Insights.
He was preaching, wasn't he?
Hey, I was about to go in my pocket and in the collection plate there. Wow.
That's pretty deep.
That last statement. Wow. I didn't even think about the spirit of all of the HBCUs.
But he hit on something strategically that our administrators have to look at. And he was right. At first, they didn't want things live streamed. They didn't want them on TV. Thought people wouldn't come to the game because they could watch it on TV and da-da-da-da-da. But he talked about the significance of exposure and the number of people that are actually watching. And name an event outside of the Celebration Bowl that draws more exposure to your program than that. They had 2.6 million viewers last year. 2.6 million. The Armed Forces Bowl was at 2.59. We had some other ones that didn't draw as much. Just in numbers, that 48,653 attended last year's game. The 12th largest bowl. And they got a lot of them. The Mercedes-Benz Peach Bowl with Pitt and Michigan State only drew 41,000. And it's kind of what Dion said. If you allow one of us into a bowl game, everybody is going because they're going to support everybody else. Whoever is there, that's going to be who they pull for. It doesn't matter if it's Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, Tennessee State, Hampton, Grambling, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. Everybody's going to pull for them. Same thing happens every time one of the HBCUs wins a basketball game. Everybody is on the internet tweeting, hitting each other that somebody won or they beat so-and-so, because that win is a win for everybody.
Right.
You know, so what? And you know, with the game coming up, you know, it's so many things going on around this game with Coach Prime and North Carolina Central feeling some kind of way because right now the MEAC, you know who leads the series in the Celebration Bowl with wins, right?
The MEAC.
Yeah,
5-1. And the one loss?
North Carolina Central.
Mm, 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 mm.
And so they're feeling some kind of way about it. You know, if you would have asked me who was the stronger football conference, I would have thought the SWAC.
Easily. I would have said the same thing.
But you got to remember, North Carolina A&T was rolling through there pretty good. They won that thing 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
You know, they lost, they beat Alcorn one year, 24-22. Came back the next year since they thought it was close. They beat them 64-44. A&T was rolling like that.
Yeah.
But who are you going with? Who you like, homeboy? Who you like? Who you with?
Now I'm split on this.
Oh Lord.
No. I'm gonna give you an answer.
Yeah,
because
you always give me one.
I'm gonna give you one. I'm split coming into the game because I grew up MEAC. I grew up in the MEAC. FAMU was in the MEAC when I went to school there. So but now FAM's in the SWAC. So I have love for the MEAC and the SWAC. Having said that, I think Jackson State is the better team. I think they're better defensively. And I think that's what's going to make the difference because NC Central has a heck of an offense. They can light up the scoreboard. But when defense and offense meets, I heard that offense is for show, but defense is for dough. Give me Jackson State in this one. Even with all the distractions that's going around.
Well, I'm pulling for North Carolina Central. I won the MEAC basketball tournament.
Yes, you did.
In the MEAC. So I'm not SWAC. I'm MEAC.
See?
I'm not SWAC. I'm MEAC. And North Carolina Central is riding the underdog role.
Yes.
And I like their quarterback, Arius Richard, the MEAC Player of the Year. Grew up. He's now about 6'2", 215. They say really about 225. They said when he runs that RPO, once he gets in that past that line, linebackers and defensive backs don't want to hit him.
Business
and
decisions.
He's from Florida. He's from Belgrade, Florida.
The muck.
So, you know, I like Coach Oliver. As we were doing the MEAC and SWAC conference, the press conferences, Trey was one of the few that actually in the beginning, from the beginning, right off rip, looked at it like it was a professional event.
Mm.
He interviewed, looked like he was at North Carolina Central in the media room. The backdrop behind him, not a green screen. He had the backdrop behind him, spoke from, just the way he approached it was first class. We had other coaches, they're doing their Zoom call with the phone in the car and driving and doing it like this in the office with the trash cans and then some trying to do the green screen without a green screen. And so, you know, everything's bleeding. His looked first class. And because of how he did it, 3 or 4 others, as the season went on, followed the trend to try to get that look. Those are the things that I look at in terms of how you try to represent your institution and how you don't act as if the meeting is an intrusion.
Right.
And we got this meeting at 10 o'clock and I got to do that. No, he made sure his schedule was straight. He made sure he was where he needed to be and he handled the meeting. You know, that was, and Buddy Pugh was my second favorite interview.
That's your plan.
That was my Ben Matlock, my Columbo, he would fumble, dumble, and bumble through his, and sit up there and drill your butt by 3 touchdowns. So you couldn't get caught up with how he was feigning like he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. I don't know what we got. We got something. We gonna put something out there. I don't know.
He was just something, and I think that we will see soon how the distractions with all this going on at Jackson State in the program, and Coach Sanders, leaving, and some of the players leaving, and all of that. It's just some things that are going on. I don't know how they can stay extremely well focused. I just think it's extremely difficult for them to do that. That's just me.
I mean, and it makes sense. It does. I mean, we have college kids. They're not professionals, so they probably feel. A lot of them probably feel a certain way that coach is leaving, and everything that's going around. But gosh, man, that team is good. That's just a good team. That's a good team. I'm looking forward to this game on ABC at noon, folks. Make sure you check it out. ABC Saturday at noon. ABC, not ESPN Ocho, not ESPN 2, not ESPN. The parent company, ABC. ABC.
And Insights will be in the house, so stay tuned. We'll be doing some live things from Atlanta. So Insights, #Insights everywhere. That's just what we do. So, we're kind of looking forward to it. There's a side that, I'd like for Deion to go out up top, but I'd like South Carolina State last year, kind of gave him a little foot, and the game was never close. And a lot of players came back this year for Jackson to avenge that loss that they had at South Carolina State last year.
So, Coach, say Central wins this game.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the Black national champion?
Yep. That's what this game is.
But last year, everyone said that Florida A&M was the Black national champion.
Everybody didn't say that. The FAMU people said that.
More than the FAMU people said that. The national media did too.
A lot of people said FAMU was crazy, even trying to say that. So it wasn't a lot. I didn't think it was a lot. It started with us.
I think it was a lot. I think the media agreed that
South Carolina State didn't agree.
No, well, of course. I mean, Orangeburg, no.
And the people at the Celebration Bowl didn't agree.
Not publicly.
Oh, that's bullshit. I mean, I don't think it was that big of people. We agree to disagree. I think
always.
Absolutely. North Carolina Central win, they're going to be the national black college champ. Who you think's going to claim they're the champs?
I was bringing it up.
I'm asking you a question now, Mr. Reporter.
Okay. The 20th, the team that's ranked 20th?
Okay, so we're supposed to know who the team that's ranked 20th is. Well, I see y'all how the phone how you got disconnected.
No, I'm not disconnected. I'm trying to show you.
All you to do was tell me.
I'd rather show you.
Well, then you should have kept it near you so you could show me without having to leave the screen.
How's that? Is that better for you then? Is that better for you? You see that was above me?
I don't know what's above you.
Okay. Well, you can't see that.
You're going to think that North Carolina Central beat Jackson State, then FAMU. Lord have mercy.
I didn't say it. I said,
Lord have mercy.
I asked a question.
I asked you a question.
That's right.
And I answered the question you asked me.
Mm-hmm.
You went all Q-dog like and didn't know how to answer a question after that.
Oh, no, you didn't, Alpha. No, you didn't.
You ain't know what to say then.
No, you didn't, Alpha. Try me like that.
Yeah, easy. Yeah, there goes Sports.
Thank you, Diva. Thank you, Sports Diva. Thank you. Thank you.
No way possible, fam.
This one here.
No
this one right there.
And North Carolina Central is ranked ahead of FAMU. Okay. And North Carolina Central is ranked ahead of FAMU.
In which polls?
in the
All the
polls.
polls?
Yeah. They're right ahead of them. They have a couple of real good wins on their schedule. Road wins at that. So Jackson State's good. Yeah, they're pretty good. Not gonna be a easy game. There's no way that North Carolina Central thinks it's gonna be an easy game. But on the other end, he's going to Colorado. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, all those people that have so much to say. $300,000, $4 million. He a sellout. How do you get to be a sellout? Everybody, every single person in the world has a price. Everybody. This stuff they say they won't do. But somebody offer them the right money, they'll do it. I don't care what you say. Everybody has a price. Now, will they meet your price to do it? Probably not, but you have a price. You have a price.
Always said that.
Yeah, he went to get the experience and to move on. I mean,
like any other coach who's starting out.
We talked about it. I mean, he got a job. He did what they hoped he would do. A whole lot of other people they've hired, they haven't done what he did. NC State hadn't done what he's done. Grambling didn't do what they did. We've had celebrity coaches before, NFL stars.
NFL stars, yep.
NBA stars. I mean, and it has not gone well. Lindsey Hunter at Jackson State, it hadn't gone well. But because this turned into a gold mine, doesn't mean that he was supposed to be there. As one of the coaches said, he promised that he would bring exposure to black college, not that he would be the savior for HBCU football. You can't get mad at the man for that.
Not at all.
But that's how some of us think.
But you brought up a point last week where you said that those who graduated from their alma mater and return, that's their dream job. So they want to stay as long as they can. But if I get hired by Howard, I didn't go to Howard. I mean, yeah, it's a HBCU, but no. Everyone who is who thinks they're anything wants to compete against the best, the highest level, the highest competition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's going to get a chance to do. Why are we knocking that? Nah.
I don't get it. And like I said, for those people who graduated there, for a lot of us, that would be their destination job.
Yeah.
They go through what they go through to be able to go home and try and win with a purpose at the place that they're at. Oftentimes, because you went there, boy, they whip you all the time. They whip you all the time. And somebody will come in from the outside and say something about the person who's been there the whole time, and they turn on you. You're not supposed to say anything. All the stuff that Deion has gone through, Deion's starting to talk about it. You know, he's starting to talk about half his salary going back, the times he's had to feed the team, the time they tried to take the food, supposedly take the football team off the training table and fired the food service, and the food service people kept feeding them. And then when the bill came in, they were told that was Deion's bill. They weren't gonna pay it. It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. And because, I think he, for the most part, kind of kept his mouth quiet. He didn't really share a lot of it until people started really going at him and he talked about it more. And I respect him not talking about it, because typically if you're not from the school, you don't care where the chips fall. You go on and lob that grenade, let it go. But those of us who from there tend not to say much, So it's like going to a church. The pastor don't own that church. Your church may have helped, your family may have helped found that church. So you'll be there when he leaves. So
yeah.
But it should be an interesting game.
Looking forward to it.
And watch some of the basketball scores. We continue to have some of the HBCUs getting some nice wins on the road and all. So again, INSiiGHTS, INSiiGHTS, we're everywhere. Need you to follow us, subscribe to us. Hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom. Hit the notification button so you'll be notified whenever we do any programming, which John Grant talked about. He said, and what we're doing now is content. That's programming. I mean, that's content we create for people to look at. That's exactly what we do. And remember, we're on INSiiGHTS Roku 24/7. Go to Roku, put in the INSiiGHTS. You'll see our programming come up. Subscribe to us on INSiiGHTS YouTube. We appreciate all of the support. Rick.
Coach?
You the man.
I ain't messing with you, man.
You ain't got no choice.
I tell you, man. Where's my uncle when I need him?
Uncle! No choice.
Like us on Facebook.
I liked it on Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter. INSiiGHTS.
Yeah.
2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
All right, y'all.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Maclay Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Maclay Enterprises. It is the intellectual property and trademark of Maclay Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representation.
Ladies and gentlemen, y'all travel safely. If you're leaving out going early, y'all be together as a family here. INSiiGHTS, we'll catch you.